A house divided cannot stand. And history will be kind to me, for I intend to write that history. Who said those quotes? I'll be right back with the answer. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
All right, here's the answer to the pop quiz. Answer number one, a house divided against itself cannot stand, was said by? No, not Abraham Lincoln. Jesus. It's recorded in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. Where he was talking to the Pharisees and he said, look, because they said it's by Satan that he's casting out demons. He said, how can Satan cast out Satan and still prevail? Anyway, the Sanhedrin must have been made of the same stuff that most of our Democrats and Republicans are made of today. But I digress. And the second quote, history will be kind to me, for I intend to write that history. You know it. Winston Churchill. And he wrote the history, the best-selling history by far of World War II. After he was out of office, he wasn't prime minister any longer. He wrote the 6-volume set on World War II, and it actually did treat him quite kindly. The truth of the matter is, I want to weave these two thoughts together today because there's things in the news, such as the U.S. sending 450 troops to Iraq. The polling data showing the people that love Obama and the people that don't love Obama. People that are going to vote for Hillary no matter what. Even though they don't trust her, they say she's got great leadership skills. And the fact that Jeb Bush is set to raise by the end of this summer, probably by the end of June, as much money as every other candidate combined. And let the full weight of that sink in on you. Jeb Bush and his PACs, things associated with him, will have raised by the end of June as much money as every other Republican combined. All right, I've set the table. There's several items on it. Let's talk. Sending 450 men to Iraq is like a spit in the wind, okay? If we were sending 450 trained assassins, people with rifles that can shoot multiple miles if need be, or at least a mile or half a mile or a mile and a half, if we were sending people like that, like the movie American Sniper, to kill ISIS leaders, then I would say those 450 men will prove a great asset. Or if it was 450 men that could be involved with guided bombs. But they're not. Okay, these are men going to train the Iraqi soldiers. Now, I'm going to explain something to you that no one in the media has figured out, all right? And it's the words of Muhammad. The reason that Iraqi soldiers have not defeated ISIS is because of the words of Muhammad. Muhammad said, do not become a friend to Christians and Jews. He ordered it of his followers. He said, whoever becomes a friend to one of them is one of them, and God will not guide an unjust people. In other words, they have betrayed their own community. They betrayed the Muslim Ummah. One of the reasons that Abu Bakr, the leader of ISIS, called for the burning of the Jordanian pilot, even though the Jordanian pilot was a Muslim, was because the Jordanian pilot was helping the Christians and the Jews, the Crusaders, the Westerners, us. And Muhammad said, if someone betrays their people and betrays God, if someone abandons their religion by helping the pagans, even then, this could be, or is grounds, according to a jurist out of Pakistan I've read, it's cause for the death sentence. It's a capital crime against Islam. So what the Iraqis have is their haunting conscience. Don't you remember how many millions of dollars we spent training the Iraqis before we left? But people haven't grasped the significance of their religion and their ideology. That's what this is about, people. Picture France and Spain getting into a quarrel, both allegedly Catholic nations, or Spain and Italy getting into a quarrel, a political quarrel. And then the leaders of those two countries, both predominantly Catholic, said, we're going to go to war and we're ordering you to kill your fellow Catholics. Now you got priests and bishops in both countries swapping out seminarians. Do you really think that with gusto they're going to pick up arms to kill their fellow Catholics? It's just not going to happen. I'll be right back to continue this, and we'll pick up with the divisions in our country.
You have two choices. I mean, you can try to raise your children by design, or you will raise them by default. There are no perfect parents. We're going to get it wrong sometimes. If we have a plan, we've got a better chance of getting it right in the long run.
There is something deep within the heart of every human being that longs for parental acceptance and approval. When does a boy become a man?
Get a group of guys around and ask them that question.
I don't think there's a certain age. Some men stay boys their whole life.
I would say, 16, 18 years old.
Wow, that's a good question.
When they get bar mitzvah?
Well, I think when he has a child. So I just became at 56, 56 years old.
Without the power of the Holy Spirit changing us and giving us power over our sin, we can't hope to be the dads that our kids need us to be.